Well, here's the scene in Australia, Gold Coast the ground, and they're coming in with a bang at the game. A packed crowd, and let's hope Britain don't come down to earth with a bump today. We've all been talking about how Britain are going to beat the Gold Coast, a struggling side in the Winfield Cup competition. Let's hope that Britain actually do come up with the goods today. Remember, of course, that this is the build-up to the third test, exclusive and live on Sky this Friday morning at 10 o'clock. Britain's best chance of winning back the Ashes since 1970. That was the last time we won. It's 1-1 at the moment. It's a three-match series. That's the decider. Well, let's go to the ground. Eddie, a bit of a question for you from here. We've been discussing it in the studio. We've heard a lot about all the Great Britain side for today, all the test match side. But what has happened to the one man who's out in that party and is in neither side, Neil Cowie? Is he still there?
Well, he is still here, Peter. He is not the invisible man, but I can tell you that his last match was against the New South Wales Country 13 at Parks just 2 weeks ago. He was injured in that match. He has been receiving intensive treatment, and the news from the press conference that Malcolm Reilly and Maurice Lindsay held yesterday was that Neil Cowie is being kept back now for the New Zealand leg of this tour. He's got no chance of appearing in the test match on Friday, either as a substitute or in the starting lineup. That's hardly surprising. But Neil Cowie will no doubt make his next appearance on the Tour of Australasia when we cross the Tasman and go to New Zealand. Now, the news of Mark Aston is the fact that he has actually played 3 times at loose forward for Sheffield Eagles in the past. This is just this last season, so the move not too surprising as far as he's concerned. What is surprising is that Michael Jackson has dropped out. I noticed Mike Ford speculating there that he might be on the bench for the test on Friday. But Mike Stevenson, you saw Jackson coming back with the doctor this morning from a training run as the British supporters give all our viewers back home a wave. And Jackson didn't look too well.
Well, not that he didn't look too well, Eddie. They're keeping tight-lipped about the situation. Naturally, in the build-up to the test, they don't want to reveal anything. But I'll put it this way. Michael Jackson didn't look too happy about things. So maybe it's a slight problem, and they don't want to take the risk. I think that's a good move by Malcolm Reilly.
The news apparently from the dressing room is he's had a slight setback in training, so they're obviously not that concerned. Otherwise, he wouldn't even be on the bench, would he?
No, well, I mean, as you mentioned in the preliminary build-up, Eddie, the fact is that Malcolm Reilly has all the eggs now in that basket, and I think he knows that he has to keep his players fit. There's no point in taking an outlandish risk. If someone does get injured this week, and let's hope that that does not occur at training, they want everybody there so they can use him.
Well, just look at the support that Great Britain has inside this stadium as yet again the fireworks explode overhead here. They really do make the rugby league matches a big event in Australia. You can probably hear the thunderclaps in the background. Absolutely fabulous, cracking atmosphere. And the cheerleaders there waiting to welcome the two sides onto the field. Just look at that. This is rugby league Aussie style. And here come the Gold Coast Seagulls for this match against Great Britain. Packed to capacity, 12,000 people inside this ground, and 8,000 have come from England to be here. Absolutely marvellous to see them. Confirmation of the Gold Coast side: Peacock the fullback, Moore and Bouvang on the wings, Cook and Vowles in the centre, Donovan and Davis the halves, Bartram is the loose forward. The second row, McLean and Gallia, Staines and Keith Neller the prop forward, and Herring is the captain, Ray Herring the hooker. Chain strip, that's not the usual jerseys that the Seagulls wear. It's a new kit, especially for the occasion here tonight. Well, they got quite a reception, but nothing like the reception that goes up at the Seagull Stadium for Great Britain. Paul Hume just going through your picture there. He wants us to send a message back to Marcel, his wife, who's watching tonight. This is the confirmation of the British side. Marcel celebrating her second wedding anniversary. Paul, 12,000 miles away from home. He takes his place in this pack that Mark Aston is playing at 13 in. There's Paul Hume in 12. And he also wants us to give a little mention to his 8-month-old son, Liam, if we can. There's Lee Jackson, the man who did so much damage for the British second-string team last week, and really his performance, Mike, gave Martin Dermott just the kick up the pants he needed.
My word, Jackson was in contention for that second test, and quite a lot of people criticised Malcolm really for not selecting him. But as you mentioned, Dermott really did come out of his shell.
Two sides just lining up, waiting for the formalities to finish. And then we shall soon be underway here. Well, if the Seagulls are in a change strip, I'm sure you've noticed that the British team is in a change strip as well. That it is the away kit. They are very much away from home tonight, but here now the national anthem. You know, I think that this is the first home British match that they've played 12,000 miles away.
Yes, tremendous support, and support also for the Australian national anthem.
Support for the Seagulls as well, needless to say, but it's Union Jacks all around this stadium. Seating on all four sides, the huge Seagulls club away to the left-hand side. You can just see at the corner of it there, in the top left-hand corner of your picture. And that has been doing a roaring trade. We had a meal in there just before the start of this match. It was full of British supporters. The match referee is David Manson, one of the top officials in the Winfield Cup. And although they're being outshouted by 2-1, the Seagull supporters really are getting behind their team. Captain for the night, Derek Fox, about to get this game underway then. And here we go, the last match in the Winfield Cup programme for Great Britain. And immediately a mistake by number 11, Paul Gallier. He and Mike McLean have switched jerseys. Knock on, just 15 metres out. Poor start.
Yes, the nerves are showing there very quickly. It really is an emotion-charged night.
Britain have the possession from the scrum with Aston. Now to Fox. Fox is stopped just 5 metres short. Lee Jackson at the dummy half position. Here's Lee Crooks wearing 8. 3 men surround him. Ray Herring, the hooker, was one of them. The captain, Keith Neller, as well there. The figure of Keith Neller, blonde hair. No stranger, of course, to British viewers is Neller, following his days at Halifax. That's a poor ball, though. Picked up neatly in the end. Ellis sweeps the long ball out to the far side. And this is Steve Hampson. And Hampson tonight, is he wearing a scrum cap? I think he is indeed, Steve Hampson. He had a cut on his head, actually, earlier in this tour. It's now his Devereaux. That's the last one. And Fox will no doubt hoist the kick. The ball has bounced back, and it's back to 6. Poor defence that from the Seagulls. Neller all over the number 13, Mark Aston. Fox now, out to Ellis. Ellis to Connolly. Great move, Britain. First try posted. Gary Connolly. They've cut them to ribbons. And we've had a minute and a half play. Gary Connolly with his second try of the tour. The busiest man on this tour of 1992. Connolly in his 10th appearance of the tour. Great try.
Well, we expected them to spin the ball out wide. It's a combination, Fox and Ellis, which has proved so good in this so-called second string. It's just simple basics. Move the ball out wide. Ellis, a lovely ball here. Connolly takes it on the inside. In for a good try. It really did see the Gold Coast defence left standing out in the centres. We were watching the game on Saturday, Eddie, and we made comment that they were a little bit, shall we say, fragile, just off the rucks in the centre position, and it certainly showed up there.
Indeed so, and we passed on the information to Malcolm Reilly. Told him how vulnerable the Seagulls looked out wide, and that really has proved the point. Fox now with this conversion attempt doesn't reach. Fox wearing 7, he's the captain for the night. In case you're just tuning in this morning, changes in the British side. Michael Jackson has dropped onto the substitutes bench. A slight setback in training. It means that McNamara has gone into the second row with Paul Hume and Mark Aston of Sheffield Eagles. He's played there 3 times this season for Sheffield Eagles. He's the loose forward tonight for Great Britain, and they've had the perfect start. They lead by 4 points to 0, and this is Hampson with the scrum cap.
Well, we mentioned before the game how important it was for Great Britain to really get a good score tonight. What a great lift it would be for the Test side on Friday. And this side really has done it well, haven't they, Eddie? They've been, well, classified as second stringers, but they certainly aren't, in my opinion, because they've really put the pride back when at times when the tour was down on its knees.
Absolutely, and this team, you know, unbeaten in the midweek fixtures. They have a proud record to maintain. All the Test squad is here, watching Derek Fox kick this ball deep downfield. And underneath it is David Bouvang. The first time, really, that the Seagulls have had the ball in their arms, and we've played almost 4 minutes of this match. Britain ahead 4-0.
Another interesting aspect, Eddie, of course, with this Great Britain side is that quite a lot of talent scouts from the Sydney clubs are here tonight, and there's a few players, shall we say, on the Pommy side that they've got their eyes on.
Well, it could almost be a Test side in any other era, this, but it isn't. And Great Britain, of course, into that third and final Test on Friday. So much to play for. Davis with the little kick ahead. That bounced off a British chest. It goes into touch, but it's going to be the Seagulls with the head and feed. Ali Davis, the little scrum half, Kiwi.
It's a little live wire, the Kiwi Davis. Good kicking game.
There's Martin Afire. He's been in charge of the rubbing in the dressing room, getting the boys warmed up, rubbing the legs, applying the massage. This is a good little run, though, coming in from Donovan, formerly with St George. Scrums all square. Now the big tall centre, Terry Cook. Good defence, though, by Devereux, bringing him down. Herring has gone in at dummy half. Devereux again, but manages to unload the ball to Cook. And Crooks looks as though he got a hand to that, knocked it dead. Referee says he did. It's 6 more to go then. Knocked it out of the hands. Now Nella. Eagles trying to switch the ball across the face of play. Bartram clinging on. Nella again on the charge. 2 Wembleys for Halifax in the 80s, remember Keith Nella.
He'll be looking for a big game tonight against some of the players that he's played against for many seasons back in England.
Herring again. Davis. Ball being swept neatly through the hands, but that's a bad mistake, although the Seagulls do retrieve it. Little elbow coming in there from Paul Gallier, but he's not too happy, is he, with that?
Well, a ball going out wide, and there we saw the centre, Adrian Vowles, overrunning the pass. We mentioned earlier that nerves would come into this game, and it seems to have affected the Gold Coast so far.
Britain with the ball from the scrum with Devereux. John Devereux, of Widnes, making his 6th appearance. Says he's getting back into his best form. It's his 3rd appearance of this tour at centre. Connolly and Hampson, and Hallis was waiting to pounce. Hampson just managed to get the ball behind him. Ironic cheers from the Seagull supporters.
No doubt about the British tactics. Keep the ball out wide. You saw Connolly. Beautiful pass there on the run. And Hampson having a little word with Hallis, saying, hang back that little bit further back. Run onto the ball.
Here they come again. Then this is Danny Peacock, full back. Scored a try here on Saturday night against Canterbury Bankstown. Now the centre wearing 16, Vowles. Cook taking it up again. Vowles, the man gone into dummy half. Here's McLean. Decides to take the tackle from Paul Hume, the anniversary man. Block forward Bartram.
Great Britain will have to keep that eye on. That should be a penalty. Oh, a little bit of nastiness there. Come on.
Well, Paul Hume, it's no way to celebrate your anniversary, is it? Getting involved in a scuffle in the opening 5 minutes of the match here. But something obviously said, something went on.
And rightly so, the referee, David Manson, laying down the law. You see on the replay there, there's a lot of niggling in these games. A lot of words pass, shall we say, from lips to lip. They really do antagonize them at times. But it goes both ways.
Paul Hume, the man picked out, and, well, the Gold Coast are going to run this. Bartrim finding touch. Going backwards. I thought they might have had a kick a goal there, Mike. Only 4-0 down.
Well, they obviously want to give entertainment for this packed crowd tonight, and full credit to them for doing that.
That's Ian Staines. Elder brother Danny, of course, played for Halifax too. Now Bartrim. That was a big hit, though, coming in on Bartrim from Lee Jackson. He really has had a great week as Lee Jackson. Good stepping run this time from Gallia. That's how close the Gold Coast Seagulls are. It's now with Donovan. Donovan on a good run. Crooks brings him down. Again, McLean. Attempting to make it quick hands. Bartrim trying to butter his way through. Hunt has him. So too Paul Hume. Getting closer. That's the try line. They're over. It's Herring. 2 for Ray Herring on Saturday. The former Broncos, and Malcolm really is not happy with the British defence. 4-all, it's all square. Herring's third try in 2 matches.
Well, they fell for the sucker punch here. Hume took it to his open side when there was no one there at the blind. Good play by the hooker. You mentioned he scored 2 good opportunity tries on Saturday, and that's a third one. That was good play. He saw that the defence was hanging off. Paul Hume went the open side. He's a good player, the hooker, and captain tonight, Ray Herring. Hookers don't need much opportunity. If they see half a gap, they'll be in, and that's what he did. That was a great try.
Did well. Sprung the trap, really, and Great Britain fell for it. And Derek Fox, there he is, laying the law down to his men. He knows that Malcolm really will want better defending than that, not only tonight, but perhaps more especially on Friday night. Bartrim with the conversion attempt then. Difficult kick. Struck it sweetly enough. And he's just missed. So this match all tied up, 4 points apiece, 10 minutes exactly on my watch. Great Britain with the early start. The try from Gary Connolly. Ray Herring has equalised. But Bartrim's attempted conversion just fading. Great Britain's 12th game of this tour then. Won 9, lost 2 so far. This midweek team unbeaten. The only loss outside the tests against Parramatta, and that really was the test team that suffered that defeat. Not quite the same intensity, Mike, is it, as the test match, and no wonder.
Well, it's a little bit of a step down, really, but it'll still be tough out there. Full credit to the Gold Coast, though. They obviously want to keep this ball alive. It's a big night for some of these youngsters on the Gold Coast side.
Lee Jackson spotting the mistake there as the ball popped up. He's got Britain back in possession. This now is Carl Furbank. This is Eddie Hemmings and Mike Stevenson with you on Sky Sports for this match. Live and exclusive. Great Britain against the Gold Coast. Kevin Ellis won't want to watch that video when he gets home in a couple of weeks' time.
Well, I took his eyes off the ball here. It was a planned move there. It was looking towards where Fox was running, going to come run round him. Lack of concentration, and that will not be pleasing their coach, Malcolm, really.
Donovan, the man who was tackled. And here comes the big second row forward, Gallia, once again. Britain having to funnel back in defence to bring him down. Herring, try scorer, Davis. Well, they tried to move the ball around. They paid the penalty there. Fox has it for Great Britain. Derek Fox having a busy little start to this match. Jackson on his own from dummy half. That really was the feature of Jackson's performance last week at Newcastle. Now McNamara. Crooks. Crooks, every time he gets it, surrounded by three big men ahead of him, trying to use his weight. So too will this fellow, Furbank. Fox. And that little reverse angle kick from Derek Fox. Tried to get to it, was impeded, couldn't go anywhere around the man.
Well, that's a tactic that we've become known that Fox can do very well indeed, but it was surprising that none of the other Great Britain players moved up quickly enough. There should have been more support there.
The Seagulls have it back then. That's Clinton Moore who had it then. Good run on that occasion. Well stopped.
The British defence will have to watch this running from the dummy half. The Gold Coast are playing the ball very quickly indeed. They're catching us off.
And the man going into dummy half, Herring, so important. This is Davis. He's an important member of this team too. Lovely little reverse pass. Vowles with the kick ahead, but it went out on the full. Play will be brought back. The turnover. 4 points all. 13 minutes gone. Great start for Britain, but then just pulled back by that Herring try. Referee wants a second football taken from the field, now allows play to continue. This is Furbank, does well, unloads in the tackle, finds Jackson. Long pass from Jackson to Connolly. Connolly saw the challenge coming in. He's a strong lad, isn't he? Couldn't bring him down. Referee shouts he was held standing up. McNamara, bang! Aston, Fox and Crooks. Devereux, space out wide for Hunt down the right-hand touchline. It's now with Hunt. Well, he juggled with it, knocked it on. Waited for it a few moments ago, it didn't come. When it did, he wasn't quite ready.
Not too happy with that. Alan Hunt there, the ball coming right through his hands. First time he's really been involved in this game. He wouldn't be too pleased with that. Mistakes are coming fast and plenty for the British boys.
Britain moving up. They didn't cut the man out with the ball, though. And this is Vowles. Vowles taken eventually by Mark Aston. Aston now, of course, part of this tour, because Gregory has gone home. Andy Gregory, Terry Cook keeping the momentum going for the Seagulls. Here's Nella. Bartram in support, but the big challenge from McNamara bringing Nella to the floor. Davis, ball being swept across the face of play again. That's McLean underneath those two British bodies. Quarter of an hour of this match gone. 4 points apiece. Donovan on the last tackle. The Seagulls midway inside the British half of the field. The midfield bomb is coming in from Davis. Hampson is underneath it, catches it cleanly. Sets off on a strong run, but he's brought down by Bouvang with a little bit of help from Gallia. Oh, and then a big mistake from Alice on the first tackle. Surrenders possession. Seagulls back in charge of the football, but a knock-on, says the referee.
Well, that could have been very costly there. Yet another mistake. Luckily for Britain, at the second row, Gallia couldn't control it and pick it up. That could have been a try.
Well, now they've got a chance to control it. Cook. Oh, well, look, it's really poor stuff at the moment, isn't it? You have to be critical. And I'm afraid both sides, and there's the ball going to ground again. Another knock-on. Kevin Ellis, though, this time saying the ball was stolen from him. But it's not good, Mike.
No, it's very scrappy play from both sides. Here you see the fullback, Danny Peacock. They're taking their eyes off the football. I know it's a very simple, fundamental skill, but you have to do it.
The Seagulls then in possession once again with number 4, Donovan, playing number 4, but he's standoff tonight. This now is Bartram, the lock forward, bustling his way towards that line. Seagulls 10 metres short of the Great Britain try line. Nella using his weight. Herring takes the return pass as Herring. Ball goes to ground. Davis continues the movement. tries to get round Fox and Ellis, but can't do so. Ball fed out to that far side. Cook, he's a big man for a centre. Last one. Britain defending stoutly. They still have to. Little grubber kick ahead. Well watched by Carl Fairbank.
Well, I don't know what Carl Fairbank was doing in the back line, and another mistake there.
Hallis is trapped. No way out for him. And I'm afraid after the Lord Mayor's show tonight, the second string are not doing us proud.
Well, we fully expected that they'd want to keep. Now, that was an awful pass. Went in between Devereux and Hunt. And really, they are putting pressure on themselves all the time. Now, it's up to Derek Fox, the skipper, to get his charges together. They've got to just calm it down and not play this panic-style football that we've seen so far.
Hampson's clearance from underneath the sticks doesn't go too far. This is Cook again. It was Connolly with the tackle. Now Bouvang. Bouvang jinking, turning, ducking, diving. The former Brisbane Brothers player, David Bouvang. Now Nella.
Once again, Gold Coast are making good yardage from the dummy half.
Davis. Ball being swept out to that far side of the field again. Staines. They obviously feel they can attack Britain down the left-hand side. McLean. Tackled by Devereux. The tackle not completed. It is now by Hunt and Fox. Just 3 metres short of the line. Another little stab ball forward. Well watched, though, on that occasion by McNamara. But again, Great Britain dropped the ball. Bartram has it back. 6 more for the British defence to weather.
Well, what a game this lock forward for the Gold Coast. Wayne Bartram's having. He really has involved himself in everything.
Here's Terry Cook. Bouvang screaming for it on this right-hand side. Aston and Connolly bring him down. Now Gallia.
Once again, we see there, Eddie, the British side are not moving up in defence. They're waiting for them.
Here's Bartram again, as Mike says, having a big game already. Almost 20 minutes on the watch. Herring in the dummy half. Now it's with Donovan. Little grubber kick ahead for Bouvang. Oh, no! He was short of the line. No try. Just short of the line when he grounded it. No try.
Yes, but the referee's got him for offside. It was good thinking there by Donovan. It was a bad pass. He had to take it. But both the centre, Vowles, and Bouvang were offside at the kick. The referee is out of your sight, but he'd already given the penalty. Whether that would have been given would have been doubtful, certainly a controversial one, but it was to no avail. The penalty was given.
So Great Britain survive, but for how long? Another knock-on. Well, it's errors all the way tonight so far, and Martin Afire shaking his head, no wonder.
Well, as you said, Eddie, after the Lord Mayor's show.
And 6-5 in Great Britain's favour, if that be the right word, is the error count. Davis trying to wriggle away from the attention of Jackson and also Mark Aston. Well, it's error strewn. This big crowd have come here to be entertained tonight, but it might not be entertainment like this that they want to see. Good ball out to that far side, turned in field. Fortunately for Great Britain, Hampson was there. He got a hand to it.
That was great play there by McLean. He kept the ball alive. There you see, keeping it. That was the big fella, the big centre, Vowles, takes it to Cookstotter, gets it inside. And fortunately for the British boys, Hampson, he took the gamble and went for the interception.
It's head and feed to the Seagulls. This is Donovan again. Now Cook. Devereux all over him, brings him down. But they're just 11 metres short of the British line. That's how close they are. Bartram again. The Welsh connection. Devereux and Ellis bring him down.
I wonder how long the British can just hold this pressure. Gold Coast are throwing everything at them at the moment.
Donovan again. He's seen a ton of the ball, hasn't he? Here's Cook. Oh, tried to get it round the corner. Peacock. Well, surely the referee will bring that back for the knock-on. Yes, he has.
Little wry smile on the referee, David Manson. They try to keep the ball away, but he's having a big game as well, isn't he? The big fella Cook just lost it at the last moment, trying to get it to Danny Peacock.
Fox feeds, Fox receives, and Fox tries to get Hunt away. Great Britain, yeah, you see the amount of possession they've surrendered. They've had to do a lot of tackling compared to the Gold Coast. Here's Devereux on a run now.
This is a period where they've got to get back into the swing of things, not forget the kicking game, not try to become too individualistic.
Ashton. Still Ashton. Crooks. Oh, that was a dangerous ball for Crooks. Ali Davis had moved up, almost pinched the ball from Lee Crooks there before it reached him. That looked forward a mile. Well, Britain are allowed to play on with Jackson. Are they going to make the Gold Coast pay here? Ellis cutting back inside. No, good defence from Peacock. Last tackle, though. Great Britain at last have made a bit of ground. Fox. Now things better here. There's a few problems, but it was watched all the way by Bouvang. The pass inside. Malcolm Reilly, Maurice Lindsay watching on pensively with frowns on their faces. No wonder.
Good play here by Bouvang. He really did take the gamble, didn't he? Mark Aston threw the long ball. The winger had come away right from the touchline. That really was a gamble that paid off for them.
16 is Adrian Vowles as the rain falls here on the New South Wales-Queensland border. Been threatening all day in Brisbane. It's been a glorious day down here on the Gold Coast apparently, but now the rain has come. And I just wonder whether it will soften the track up a bit. All the people behind the sticks here are out in the open, and there are going to be 8,000 very, very wet British supporters. Unless this rain eases off, it's tippling.
Well, let's hope the rain just softens up the Englishmen's brains, because really they're not playing with any constructive attitude. They've got to get it together. They're just doing one-out football.
Ellis, the dummy half. Now Fairbank through one. Good support from Hume. That's better. This is Jackson. Jackson has Connolly inside him, but just couldn't find him. And Ian Staines picks up the loose bits for Seagulls.
Well, at long last, they've kept the ball alive. It was Fairbank again that got Jackson through. He did that a couple of minutes earlier. But really, they've been the only two incisive, apart from the try, that Great Britain have put together.
McLean's ball out wide. Wasn't the best looking for Cook. Alan Hunt drops on it, gives a bit of a smile. That's got to be 6 more. Noticed that a few times against the British on this tour, the way the Australian teams have been attempting to kick the ball as it hits the ground at the play of the ball. Once or twice it's worked. It hasn't worked on this occasion. Britain are in possession again. McNamara, quarter of an hour of this first half to go. 4 points all, but not the best opening stage of a match for the British on this tour. Connolly from dummy half on his own. The busiest player on this tour. He's had a fine tour, the young St Helens player. Last tackle, 8 metres short of the line. Fox, again that reverse pass. Ellis is going for it. Peacock's there too. Peacock claims it on the full. It'll be a tap from his own 22.
Once again, we saw the kick from Fox. At least Fox is thinking, trying to put pressure on him in this driving rain. But Peacock, equal to the task, diffuses the bomb.
Lovely little reverse kick it was, wasn't it, from Derek Fox. Seen that so often in the First Division last season. He's on the he's on the transfer list. He wants a move from Featherstone, otherwise they might be seeing it in the Second Division next year. Davis, the high kick. It's a bit greasy now, so Hunt allows it to drop before picking it up. Tries to get away from the defenders who've closed in. Still going, Hunt. The run eventually ending. Aston.
I just get the impression, Eddie, that the British boys are trying to do too much, really. Stick to the game plans, perhaps, but they've got to try to calm it down, not panic.
They're not panicking now because Fox has it. He's giving it to Ellis. Ellis to Devereux. Now Devereux is on the run here. This is a great run from Devereux. Just a foot in touch, just slid into touch by the defender. Peacock, the fullback, moving across, doing his job perfectly.
Well, the maestro Fox put Devereux through. He really did stride out well. You saw that on the replay quite clearly. Devereux's right foot went into touch. But that's better from the British boys.
Must say, when they do get it together, Mike, when they do move forward, they do look impressive. The problem is they're dropping the ball all the time.
Well, they're not respecting the possession. We showed in that second test victory at Melbourne, if you respect possession, keep your defence tight, and we all know what the result.
Neller, good tackle, low down, Furbank hit him hard. Herring, McLean, British supporters scream for a forward pass, but Peacock's allowed to continue. One of the Seagulls players just leaving the field. Hampson watches it carefully, allows it to bounce over his head, but he couldn't do much about it, could he? Now he's got to get out of trouble. That's good from Hampson. Made a good 12 metres there, Steve Hampson, the Wigan fullback. Hallis has drifted in off the wing. Well, Cook is off, and Goddard, wearing 19, Jamie Goddard, comes on. He's one of the young guns here at Seagulls.
That's a sad loss to the Gold Coast. Cook was playing quite well in the centres. He's a big guy, and they will certainly miss him as the game progresses.
Well, this referee, Mike, is missing some forward passes here. That was another one a mile forward.
Well, maybe he, like quite a few people in this crowd, aren't too happy with the way the scrappy play is being displayed.
Peacock then for Gold Coast. Some weavy little runs from him on Saturday against the Bulldogs too. That's the substitute, Goddard. Herring and Staines. I say, Furbank's impressed with his tackling, Mike, the prop forward for Great Britain tonight.
And he has sent out two lovely little passes to make the break.
It's his second appearance, Furbank, at prop for Great Britain. He's never played there, though, for Bradford last season. Doing the job well tonight. Here's Goddard. Hallis has it. Look over his shoulder. Goddard's moved up, pins him. A little bit of help from Donovan. Oh! Well, Graham Hallis will have a red face about that, but here's Ellis. Ellis on the break. That was cheeky, Mike.
Oh, you could call that a cheeky pass, no doubt about it. He became a bit of a handful, didn't he?
Jackson with this great run. Support out wide is from Hunt. This is where the Gold Coast are vulnerable. Ball turned back in field. Jackson doing well, using his strength.
Well, I think the entire British side realised they're in for a good old-fashioned ear-bashing from their coach, Malcolm Reilly. This devil-may-care attitude is not what we expect.
Furbank taking the ball to himself. There was no marker in front of him. Britain now on the charge with Aston, 10 metres out. Oh, Hampson drops it again. Ball went back, though, and Connolly prepared to just take the tackle from Bouvang and run it out. 4 points all, and on my watch, we're inside the last 10.
Well, Aston trying to do the right thing. This is a lovely long ball here. A little bit high, perhaps, but a man of that calibre, Steve Hampson, should accept those.
Started this tour as the test full-back in Papua New Guinea, Steve Hampson. Penalty at the scrum, awarded against the British.
Never any doubt in the mind of David Manson. You saw there that the lock forward Mark Aston breaking away before the ball had come free. Miles offside.
Hallis That was a big mistake there from Gold Coast. Now Hallis setting off on a run. Good support from Devereux. Ellis is there too. This is Ellis. Now Hunt. Hunt coming in field. Again looking for the support. It arrives from Paul Hume.
Good run there by Graham Hallis. That really did inject himself into it, didn't he?
Crooks. Crooks taking his time to get up. Took a bang there. Fairbank. Jackson. Aston. Oh, and he sold the dummy to the Gold Coast team there. Here's Connolly, and Connolly's through. Second try for Gary Connolly on the night. Well, he's the ideal tourist to have in your team, is Gary Connolly. Marvellous stuff from the St Helens youngster, up in support, kept hold and touchdown.
This was good play by Aston. They used Fox as a dummy. Aston knew that the man Connolly was coming late. It was a planned move. This time, they bring home the bacon. Little switch there. That was good play, good support, good positioning by the youngster. He's had a fine tour.
Taking the congratulations, an excellent tour. Paul Hume is coming off his 5th successive appearance since his arrival. And Michael Jackson is going to come on and replace him, as Derek Fox has that angle to increase the British lead to 6 points. And he does. Seagulls 4, the British Lions 10. On my watch, 7 to go to half-time. But what a great servant Gary Connolly has been on this tour, Mike. This is his 10th appearance out of 12. 2 tries for him tonight. I know he's a long way short of the 24 appearances, the record on a tour by Dick Huddart in the 1958 Lions tour. But in this modern-day football, 10 out of 12 isn't a bad average, is it?
Well, I think he's grown in stature. He'll certainly come back a far better footballer for the experience, as will quite a few of these players.
Michael Jackson wearing 16, might have had a setback in training, but he's on the field for Paul Hume. Hume is off. Here's Aston. And there's McNamara. Crooks. Britain ahead, perhaps at just the right moment. A lot of the 8,000 in this crowd hoping for a big win tonight to carry the Lions through to the 3rd and deciding Ashes test at Lang Park in Brisbane on Friday night. Fox could go nowhere. Hampson was under pressure from Gallier, and he simply had to hack it downfield. Here's Peacock. That's a good tackle from Jackson.
Well, Fox really put a lot of pressure on his fullback there. But maybe Hampson would have been better to elect to dive for the ball rather than just lash out with a boot.
Bartrim, all through 1 and through 2. Hallis is clinging on to him. Stopped him, fortunately. Britain was stretched then. Davis, and now that's Goddard. He sweeps the ball out to Donovan. That's good defence from Great Britain. Donovan able to make no progress and was pushed sideways. Gallier taking the tackle. It was the last one. Davis with a chip through. Bounced perfectly, kindly for Hampson.
But once again, there we saw the Gold Coast taking advantage of the blind side. Hampson nearly lost that. That wasn't the best attempt at tackle by the fullback, Danny Peacock. But we are being caught out on that blind side. There'll be a few burning ears, I'm sure, when Malcolm really gets hold of them in the half-time break.
And we're 4 minutes away from that half-time break. The Gold Coast side, remember, sitting at the wrong end of the Winfield Cup League ladder. They're right at the bottom. It's the last one. Fox. Bouvang underneath it. Oh, and he got away from Fairbank then. Couldn't get away from Fox and Michael Jackson. Goddard running from dummy half. Brooks and Ellis have him. Here's McLean. Big raw-boned second rower. Had quite a match here on Saturday night against the Bulldogs. Herring again from dummy half. McLean picking up the pieces, able to continue, and slipped a good pass, but just couldn't hang on. I think it was Herring again, was it?
Well, I must say the Gold Coast can feel himself rather unlucky not to have posted more points in this first half. They really have made the break.
And so too has this fellow, Connolly. He in the backs, and for my money, Furbank up front, the most impressive in the red, white and blue of Great Britain so far tonight. Fox, here's Furbank, always willing to drive it in. Jackson, oh, through the gap neatly. Fox, Crooks, evaded one. Last tackle, Britain still in their own half. Back to Fox again. High kick, and Fox flattened after that ball went. He really took a heavy knock then.
Well, it certainly looked as though there was a stray elbow. And I think the culprit might have been the lock forward Wayne Bartram. Let's see it.
Oh, dear
no
me.
doubt about that.
Well, that was a real forearm smash.
Oh, that
wasn't
was stupid play.
it? Referee didn't see it.
And those
Judges didn't see it.
Those amazing guys in yellow with the flags. It's amazing how they can miss it.
Well, he's all right, Derek Fox, but it could have so easily have been quite nasty, that. A real elbow in the face after he kicked the ball. Scott Sattler's on in 17 for Gold Coast. Now here's Boubang. Sattler, the youngest son of John Sattler, one of the all-time Aussie greats. Hampson picks up the pieces. Hallis. Well, a half fist distinguished by those 2 tries from Connolly, and Hallis unhappy with that challenge from Herring as well. There's a little bit going on out there, Mike. The referee really ought to be getting his eyes open and having a look at this. Crooks.
Well, Great Britain quite content just to play out these 6 and then elect for the kick. Here it comes. Oh, dearly me. The agony continues, I'm afraid.
Been the story of this half, hasn't it? Errors all the way. And the clock on the far side is counting down. 3 seconds, 2, 1. Here's the siren. So next tackle, and that will be half-time. But can Gold Coast post a try? No, they can't. That was good defensive work from Steve Hampson. Hampson defusing the bomb. It's 4 points, the Gold Coast Seagulls, 10 points Great Britain. Great defensive work in the end there from Hampson. 2 tries from Gary Connolly, 1 from Ray Herring. And it's 10 points to 4. Great Britain lead, and second half coming up shortly.
Well, that's enough talk from us. Let's go back to the main men. Channel 9 may have Australian commentator Ellery Hanley working for them, but we've got the best in the business. Mike Stevenson and Eddie Hemming.
Thank you for those few kind words, Peter. Welcome back to the Seagulls Stadium. And if you're wondering what has happened to Wally Lewis in this match, he has hamstring trouble. He did name himself to play in the game, as you look again at those statistics. But he decided to rest himself once more, keep himself back for the Winfield Cup, perhaps later in the season. He has hamstring problems. He's not played here for over 3 rounds of this Winfield Cup 92 campaign. So Wally Lewis isn't there to inject his skills, but Great Britain are out there to inject their skills. And Matt Donovan gets this second half underway. And Mike, as Mike Ford was saying in the studio, we really must hope for better things in this second half.
Well, I think we will. I think they've got it all sorted out. Malcolm would have been quite specific about what he wants from them, and that's a lot more respect of this possession and try not to rush things. They will finally wear this Gold Coast team down. That I have no doubt.
Top tacklers in the forwards there, and you probably saw Carl Harrison is on the field. He's replaced Lee Crooks at the start of this second half. So Lee Crooks will take no further part in this match. Good kick downfield. There's the kicking game that we were waiting to see from Derek Fox. Good kick for the corner.
Good start for Fox there, Eddie. He had a few problems in the first half, as did most of the other British Lions. And I think you can sit back and I think you'll see the true value and the skills from this second string, so-called second string of the British tour.
Well, Harrison's there to add a bit more weight, certainly in the forward pack. Great Britain are playing with a fairly stiff breeze now at their backs. And the rain, as Malcolm really watches on, what a stern face that is. The rain is pouring down out of the sky here. And I suppose, really, if Great Britain could employ a rainmaker, Mike, they'd keep him on the tour until Friday night at least.
Yes, it would be somewhat of a little advantage. It would worry the Australians.
Hampson brought down. A lot of enthusiasm amongst this Gold Coast team, needless to say. Bottom of the table. Nothing to play for this season other than their pride. What a feather it would be in their cap if they could turn over the Lions in the week between the second and third tests. Jackson's pass is careless, to say the least, and Hampson has to retreat and then set off on a good run, Hampson. But really only bringing the ball back level to where the misplaced pass from the British side went in the first place.
Well, you could see the commitment. You'd see, take a big deep breath. I'm going through here. And he nearly did it. That's the type of running that the forwards must start doing in the second half.
This is Carl Harrison. This is his fourth successive appearance since he arrived. Eddie Hemmings, Mike Stevenson here at the Gold Coast Stadium. The Seagulls Stadium on the borders of New South Wales. Big error from Clinton Moore. Took that slippy ball. You can see the ball shining there, and this is the reason.
Well, the tactics are right, aren't they? Put them under pressure. Good running also by Fox. After kicking the ball, he ran in front of all his players. That puts them all onside.
Great Britain possession from the scrum, of course. Ellis, Devereux, Ellis again. This now Connolly, looking for the first hat-trick of this 1992 Lions tour. 2 tries from him in the first half. Harrison took 3 men out there with the run. The ball goes back. He gets it eventually. Ellis to Fox. Not the best pass. Spun off Fox's fingertips. Went backwards, though. McNamara using his weight. Harrison there to add weight to that pack, Mike, with Ashton at 13. Here he is. And McNamara, not the biggest, at 11. Perhaps with Jackson, who's in possession now, and Harrison, the pack might start working.
Well, it was very light, wasn't it, when it took off in the first half. But really that doesn't account for drop balls and lapse in tackling and mistakes like that.
Absolutely. Gold Coast then are back in possession. This is a neat little run. And he showed the ball, did Davis? Oh, and then we get a mistake from him as well. Well,
the rain is pouring down. They are playing with a so-called all-weather football. It's not the same as what we play in England.
Must be made out of soap, I think, the way this match has gone. The error count made horrendous reading, didn't it, at half-time on the statistics sheet. Here's Hunt. Not really seen the best of Alan Hunt. And Devereux. Article about him in the paper up here this morning, and he said that he was getting back to his best. His confidence had been a little shattered. He was a bit ring-rusty. Nothing can be said that this fellow's ring-rusty, Carl Harrison, or Derek Fox, or Michael Jackson. That's a better run.
Not only is it a better run, they're running at the angles now. They're not just running square into the defence.
What an awful, awful error, though, to play the ball. It's elementary stuff, Mike. We mustn't be too kind on them. That's awful. Break in play while the Gold Coast player receives attention. Paul Gallia taking his painful place in the second row. Davis with the feed. Now here's Goddard. And Staines. McLean. Oh. Well, when are we going to get a passage of play without any errors? And no wonder the boo is coming up from the terraces.
It's getting very slippy out there indeed. There you saw a little bit of a different defence there from the British. They came up and moved up quickly. That put him under a lot of pressure. He was forced into that header.
Now Ellis. Devereaux directing traffic from dummy half and running in the end on the blind side. This is a good run from Devereaux. Still going Devereaux. Oh, great try, John Devereaux. Through the tackle from Bartrim, just simply brushed him away. And John Devereaux, good try from him. It's only his second on tour. He will enjoy this.
Well, he did what the Gold Coast were doing in the first half, running from the dummy half. And you saw the upper body strength there. Look at him go. Nice step inside. It really did leave Clinton Morse just stranded. The lock forward Bartrim found him far too tough. That was a good individual try.
Well done, John Devereaux. 14-4 the score now. Derek Fox with this conversion attempt. You'll notice one or two of the seats empty behind the posts. Look at that stand. It's absolutely open to the elements, and it still continues to pour out of the sky here in Australia. The rain. Fox with the conversion attempt. Gets nowhere near. So it's the Gold Coast Seagulls 4, Great Britain 14. Phil Larder passing on some information to his captain Derek Fox as Gary Connolly comes off the field. 2 tries for the St Helens player tonight, replaced by David Myers.
Well, that's obviously a pleasing thing for this fella. That probably means that he will get one of those third test substitution spots. If that is the case, that's good thinking by Malcolm really to rest him. Really obviously feeling that 10 points is enough springboard. And quite frankly, I think you may find Gold Coast just be ripped to tatters from here on in.
Well, Myers in 14 there is a man who does have the speed to do that. This is McNamara. Now Harrison, well, dear me, he almost surrendered possession again. Fox has it. Well, Fairbank wasn't rated for that, was he? He was not ready for that at all, and he surrenders possession to Staines. To Herring, rather. Now McLean.
Well, you couldn't really blame Carl Fairbank for that. He did the hard work of keeping them away, holding the ball up. They were just not supporting him.
This is Staines now. Sattler gets away from Harrison. Jackson's in there, so too is Ellis. Just couldn't get the ball to Clinton Moore, who had moved up in support. This now is Herring once more. Back to number 14, Kevin Campion. All the young A-teamers, the reserve players, reserve grade players over here getting a run against the British tourists tonight. Donovan's kick ahead. Well, looked like it might have bounced off Derek Fox, but the referee says knock on. He was closer than we were. No protest, you notice, from the British captain.
Fox thinking that this was a charge down, but really the ball, he was turning his back sideways. The ball was just fired into him. Dodgy decision there by the referee Manson.
The rain dripping off the referee's head, as it is off many people in this stadium tonight. It is all open to the elements, as I say. Ton of possession at the scrum for the Gold Coast. 10 minutes of this second half gone. Clinton Moore unloads well in the tackle there. This is Peacock, the full back. Now McLean. Campion. Gold Coast edging closer to that British try line. Not a bad run from Vowles. Stopped by Myers. The last one. Davis. Ali Davis over the top. Finds Moore. Moore's got support. The support is still there, but it's very untidy. Look at it. It was on the last tackle. It's the turnover.
Well, they just took the option there for keeping the ball alive and hoping and probably praying that they could come up with the 4 points. To be fair now, it's extremely slippy out there.
Harrison using that weight to barge his way away from trouble. McNamara. Fox with the kick downfield. Only Paul Broadbent now on the bench for Great Britain tonight. As Peacock, the fullback, sets off on a run. Nellis watches him all the way.
That was a good kick by Fox. A lot better than what we'd seen in the first half. And a good chase game. Very good chasing game indeed by the Lions.
Donovan going nowhere. Stopped there by Aston. Ball back again. Hampson makes a meal of it. Well, if we say it too often, Mike, it'll get boring, but oh dear.
Well, it's errors. It's certainly not a comedy for this fellow. He's not smiling.
Long pass. Well held by Donovan, but poor distribution again, and Britain have it back. 5 games to go for Great Britain after this. Friday, of course, then 2 tests against the Kiwis and 2 club games across the Tasman against Auckland and Canterbury. You'll see all those 3 test matches here on Sky Sports, beginning on Friday. The kick and chase. The 15, Robin Thorne, formerly with the Canterbury Bulldogs, is on. So Wally Lewis is ringing the changes. They're all on now, all the youngsters.
Once again, a better kicking game we saw there from Fox and the chase. Slowly but surely, they're just getting into the swing of things now.
That's a better run. And Devereux simply brought Ali Davis down by the collar, and the ball spun away again. Now, can Great Britain link up here and attack? Hampson. Hunt is the dummy half. Hallis. Jackson's being pushed back. 14-4. Coming up to a quarter of an hour of this second half gone. Jackson took a bang in the mouth there. Ellis. And Devereux. Stepping neatly inside is Devereux. The supporting act was Kevin Ellis, who kept his run going. Now it's with Fox. And now Aston.
He did very well to pick that ball up there. The ball was dipping from that pass from Fox.
Here's Fox again. Little one forward for them all to chase. Jackson led the charge. That's good play by Bouvang. Can he get away? Yes, he can. Well, Mike, though Gold Coast bottom of the table, I made it 8 of the side that we watched here on Saturday started this match. As we see again that chase and good work from Bouveng. He was one of them. So it's no mugs that the British Lions are beating on this tour in their campaign against the Winfield Cup sides, is it? Only Parramatta have managed to beat them.
No doubt about that, Eddie. I think that Parramatta, as well as the Gold Coast, they're making this as a very big feature in their program. Both teams have got youngsters, and what a great moment for them to play against a touring side. They'll never forget it. It's a good lift for them psychologically.
16 minutes of this second half gone. Hallis and Ellis on the run around. Hallis has it. Dropped on the 22. Ellis in at dummy half. This now is Jackson. Burbank is there. Ellis again, who's been involved in a lot in this second half. So too is Fox. Ball out to the far side, it's Aston. Aston back to Fox. Ducking away from the challengers is Derek Fox.
A lot more composure now in the British Lions play.
Ellis. Burbank standing in the tackle, releases it to Jackson. Hampson in support. Over the top from Hampson. That's inventive play. Oh, it just bounced off his heels. That was unlucky from the Wigan fullback.
He came through well. He knew exactly what he was doing. And under these conditions, anything could happen. Probably would have been perhaps a little bit better to put the boot to ball, but he tried to get snap out of it.
And McNamara will be pulled out for that. Pulled out and penalised as he came over the top. Referee Manson wants a word with the Hull youngster. I think the referee must have shouted held here.
Well, not about it. Swinging arm there. Referee had ball held. Here he comes. Far too late. Swinging arm right in front of the referee. You can't expect anything else but to give away a penalty.
But you might expect them to put it in touch. Another big error from Gold Coast. Here's Hampson. Much better run from the Wigan fullback. He's got a bit more confidence this second half. That's great stuff from Hampson. Now here's Harrison. 14-4, the British lead. Second half. Live and exclusive on Sky Sports from Seagulls Stadium. Jackson.
I just can't see the Gold Coast hanging on now.
Britain coming forward, 10 metres out. Good, neat interplay. That's McNamara! And McNamara scores a great try. Looked inside for the support. Decided to hang on for himself. And Steve McNamara gets his 1992 Lions score sheet off the mark.
Well, this was a set move. Aston back inside to Fox. He threw the dummy. Peacock took it, the full-back. And it's so rewarding when a move like this comes off. There you see the big fella, the young boy from Hull, in for a try. I said it looked as though the Gold Coast were ready to buckle under the pressure. It did not surprise me. And Steve McNamara gets a deserved four-pointer.
McNamara then makes it 18 to Great Britain and 4 to the Gold Coast Seagulls. Derek Fox should improve that record from right in front, and he does. So Great Britain 20, Gold Coast 4, on my watch 19.5 minutes of this second half gone. Mike, just while we wait for the kickoff, you may remember we were talking about Neil Cowie before the match got underway. Lovely little story about Cowie at the second test at Melbourne on Friday night, when the Aussies scored the try and Gary Schofield was leading the inquest. Apparently the word from off the bench was that Cowie turned to one of the British officials and he said, "I wonder if they're talking about me." It shows there's a lot of humour and a lot of spirit in the British Lions this year.
And modesty too.
I think they possibly were as well. And a lot of the spirit, it must be said, on this tour has come about as a result of this midweek team. As Mike Stevenson said, they raised the spirits dramatically at Illawarra. They did the same at Newcastle. And with a kicking like that from Derek Fox, the spirits will be raised again tonight.
Wonderful kick again by the skipper. Fox really has stepped up a gear in the second half. He knew it. And like a true professional, is now producing the goods.
We're midway through this second half then. 20 points to 4. It's going to be a good night for Great Britain's midweek team. They don't like to call themselves the second string. The management refuse to call themselves the second string. But I rather fancy that all the players out there on the pitch tonight know that there are no test places up for grabs this time. Although they all must be playing for places on the bench. And can they now capitalise on that mistake? That's a good ball inside to Aston. But the ball was, I think, bounced off the chest of Davis. This is Peacock. All these Gold Coast youngsters who've come on too will want to impress. Nothing like playing against a touring team.
Getting back to that issue, Eddie, a lot of the Australian press were quite eager. They were poised to stick the knife well and truly into this touring side after they hit a few problems with injuries. And as you mentioned, it was the second string down at Illawarra that proved that they had plenty of guts and that they could play football, and they repeated it at Newcastle. And that really set themselves up for that second test win in Melbourne.
Goddard's kick ahead was policed by Steve Hampson. Yes, absolutely right. This team has done so much to lift the spirits. Plenty of good humour in the British camp. Plenty of confidence too that the job will be completed on Friday. And plenty of speed from Alan Hunt. Almost through Peacock. Now Jackson, and now Aston and Ellis and Devereux in support, and Myers. Has David Myers the strength? He certainly has the pace. But that's good tackling back. Now Ellis from dummy half, and Ellis slides out. It was the lock forward, Wayne Bartrim, who saved a certain try then with his tackle on David Myers. And Ellis just trying to get round the corner there, Mike. Couldn't do much about it.
Well, they were equal to the task, weren't they? But what a great run there by Myers. They got the ball out wide. It was wonderful centre play by Devereux.
Paul Broadbent has taken his place in the scrum. He has replaced Lee Jackson. And with the hooker off, Britain get one against the head. Now Devereux. Here's Ellis. And they took the dummy, Furbank.
He's brimming with confidence now, is Mark Aston. He's taking control out there.
Aston. Well, the ball was stolen from him. That's got to be a penalty, and is. Peacock trying to be a little too clever. Just stole the ball in the tackle straight out of his arms, right under the nose of referee Manson. Here it is again.
No doubt about it, is there? It is a stupid rule. They have to do something about this very quickly indeed.
Penalty then to Great Britain. Peacock being adjudged by the referee to have stolen the ball, and Fox, needless to say, will take the two here. Martin afire. It's damp at the Seagulls Stadium. Paul Newlove looks a picture alongside him too, doesn't he? I think that just sort of typifies the spirit, doesn't it? Plenty of smiles on the bench. Fox with the penalty then, 22 points to 4.
Well, there you see the skipper, Derek Fox, realising that it eats up the time, taking the penalty rather than the quick tap. They know the game is won, but I think we can expect more. None of that, I hope.
I hope so too. Aston with the error underneath the sticks, direct from the kickoff, just in front of him. puts Great Britain on the back foot after being gifted that penalty. Davis gets the possession from a rather untidy scrum. And here goes Robin Thorne. Well, we've seen plenty of Great Britain in attack in this second half. What have they got in defence now? Bartrim. Davis spread the ball out wide. There could be problems. Campion. Broadbent bringing him to ground. Herring, they decided to come blind with Staines. Inching closer to that line. Davis. Long pass. This is Goddard. Good play, Great Britain. Good defence. They'll be pleased with that.
The Gold Coast lost their way a little bit there. Obviously a wrong call. They didn't realise that was the last tackle. They should have opted for something a little bit different than that.
Alan Hunt. Plenty of rugby to be played on this tour still, Mike, isn't there? 5 to go, as we said earlier. 3 of them test matches. There's Broadbent. Wonder what will happen to him, because he's only been brought in as an emergency replacement. Wonder if he will leave the tour after this match. Fox again, lovely kick. Draws applause from the people who are left.
And so it should. Excellent kick there by Derek Fox. We said that Malcolm really would have said quite a few words at the half-time break. It certainly has worked. They really have stepped up another gear for this second 40.
27 minutes gone in this second half. 13 to go then. For the midweek team to maintain their 100% record, and it looks like they're going to do that now. But the Seagulls fancy a run. Great Britain funneling back. Good play though by Bouvang. Bartrim the dummy half. Now McLean. A lot more weight in that pack with those two, Jackson and Harrison, in this second half. And Furbank and Broadbent too. Big men now up front for Great Britain. Davis. That's Donovan. Last one. They've only conceded the one try, Great Britain. They won't want to concede any more, despite the overwhelming look at the scoreboard has in their favour. But here's a chance, and here's a... Well, I was going to say here's a great opportunity for Robin Thorne, but it's a knock-on. It'll all be brought back. Despite the fact the ball has been touched down, Robin Thorne thought that his moment had come.
Well, Hampson came here. He came very brave indeed. He collided with the hooker, Ray Herring, and Thorne just trying to get the ball away. Fundamental mistake. There's been a lot of those.
Peacock thought his ship had come in. 16-9. Gold Coast winning the scrums, hands down. Great Britain winning the match, hands down, 22-4. And we hope we'll be bringing you a similar story from Lang Park, Brisbane on Friday. We hope we'll be watching a British victory that night and seeing history on Sky Sports and bringing those ashes home. Fox's kick downfield into no man's land. There's no one there, and Fox is leading the chase on Peacock. And Fox wheels him in. Good play from the skipper.
Certainly was, and once again he saw that the winger David Bouvang was out of position. Peacock was left stranded. Intelligent kicking game in the second half.
Bouvang seems to have drifted in field. That was him in possession then. This now is McLean. Well, the fire has gone out though in the Gold Coast jerseys now. Look at the scoreboard. They know, I think, that they are a beaten side. They're playing now for consolation prizes.
Well, you can see the eager defence of the British lads. They're moving up a lot quicker than what they did in that first half. They put them under a lot of pressure. And Gold Coast are tiring badly.
10 minutes to go. Ellis sweeps up that kick ahead and chased by Davis, and then gets a right clobbering from the scrum half for Gold Coast.
Didn't realise that he was getting someone behind him so close. Luckily, Hampson kept his cool.
Broadbent now. Aston in support. Two Sheffield teammates, Fox and Jackson, running on strongly. Still going, Jackson. Takes something to bring him down in that mood. Burbank, dummy half. Fox. Aston again. That's the last tackle on Steve McNamara. Fox is there. There's that reverse kick again. And who's popped up looking for it? Well, Ellis, but he was miles and miles offside, though the innocence and the shake of the head, he doesn't believe it.
Well, it's been used a few times, isn't it? This angle reverse kick, no doubt about it. Doesn't matter how many times Ellis pleads with the referee. You saw on the white shot on the replay earlier. I don't think even Martin Offiah could have got into that position.
I don't think Kevin agreed, though, did he? McLean clinging on for the Gold Coast. Just over 8 minutes to go. Another important psychological boost for the British as we approach Lang Park. What a night that will be. Hope you'll be with us on Sky Sports for that one. The biggest match in rugby league history for 22 years. And Myers, David Myers, sliding out on this wet turf. 22-4. Can we do it on Friday, Mike?
I think we can. As we watch the replay here, there was never any doubt on slippery conditions. You see Myers being pushed across there. Momentum taking him out. Yes, I really do think we can do it, but we have to show commitment for the full 80 minutes again. Our defence has to be superb, and the kicking game has to be equal to what was on display in Melbourne.
Bartrim, still going Bartrim. The supporters arrived, and Peacock was hauled down by Hampson. Herring on his own from dummy half. Support arrives from Davis. Or was it Peacock there again? Well, it's no try anyway. Wally Lewis cannot believe it, but he has a wry smile. It was Peacock.
Well, this was good play, didn't they? Kept it alive. Peacock did definitely drop the ball. That was a wasted effort. Definitely dropped it, and good positioning by the referee, David Manson. No doubt about it.
Yes, the conditions robbing the Gold Coast of another try there, perhaps. The ball spinning out of the hands. Now Derek Fox leading by example. Still going Fox. Saw him in the gym on Friday, the day of the test match in Melbourne. He really was going through the weights routine in the gym. Apparently, pound for pound, he's one of the strongest players in the British game. Hampson, still going Hampson, all on his own. Hampson with the try. The Wigan contingent of supporters in front of me get to their feet. Steve Hampson with his first try of the tour. And 26-4, it's quite a convincing score.
In atrocious conditions, and Derek Fox fully deserved to land that conversion. Remember, it was his strong run down the midfield, 40 yards, that put them into that position to get them their try.
Just checking down the scores on this match now, 28-4. And this is the widest winning margin by the British on tour since they set off on their travels in Papua New Guinea back in May. And apart from the island zone in Rabaul on the 27th of May, and the test match, of course, last Friday, this is the best score on tour.
And full credit to him, they certainly sorted it out. That's what it's all about. But I've been very impressed with the way that Carl Fairbank has kept this ball alive. I'm sure Gary Schofield in the picture there would also be pretty pleased with Fairbank's performance, as with the little maestro Derek Fox. He's at a top second half.
Peacock collects his kick ahead, though. Can Great Britain hit the 30 mark in the remaining 3 minutes and a little bit? A real tussle between Hallis and the number 16, Adrian Vowles. McLean. Despite the rain, nothing has dampened the spirits of the British supporters inside the Seagulls Stadium tonight. All the singing now coming from them. I think one of them might be singing in the rain before we go home. It's still pouring down. Myers bluffs it, surrenders possession to Donovan. Hampson wheels Donovan in. Been a bad display from Hampson tonight. 1 or 2 errors, of course, as they all have had, but he's been pretty sound at the back. Sweeping up the danger. Here's Herring. This now is Bartrim. Davis, McLean steaming up, misses him out, finds Goddard instead, goes for the return pass. Does Davis. Great Britain don't want to concede another try, do they? Here's Goddard from dummy half. Back to the big prop forward, Staines. They have conceded one. Staines over. Or was it Herring? Ray Herring, I think.
Well, that was a lovely, neat pass inside there. And Staines, I think it was, that went in. Lovely pass there. That really was good play by Goddard. A well-planned move and fully deserved.
Herring confirmed as the try scorer. Matters not. It's a British win. We have just less than a minute or so to go after this conversion. 28 points to 8. But now no longer the winning margin, the widest winning margin. And Bartrim will probably slot this one over. Don't count your chickens, though. Flags go up. Seagulls 10, Great Britain 28. Convincing, though, Mike, nonetheless.
Yes, the second half of the performance would be very pleasing to the coach, Malcolm, really. It shows the professionalism that is going through the touring party. It was an atrocious first half performance by the lads, and for them to come back and show their professionalism, well, let's give full credit to the Gold Coast. They fully deserved that try. That was a nicely worked move. They certainly haven't thrown the towel in.
Now the British line breached in the last couple of minutes. Ray Herring again. 2 tries for him tonight, the hooker. 2 tries on Saturday, and they don't come too often in the Sydney competition. Tries. Bit unfair, that. There's the siren. After the next tackle, the match will be all over, but Robin Thorne is streaking down the line, and he's taking Hampson on. Slips, he keeps going. The touch judge is on with the flag up. What's his decision? Has a quick word with the referee. It's all over. They shake hands all round. Referee says that that is that, and the Seagulls 10, Great Britain 28 is the final score. Here's a repeat of that run down the line from Robin Thorne, where he almost grabbed himself a piece of glory, went round Hampson, got up almost over the line, but Great Britain's defence held firm on that occasion. So from a very wet and rainy Gold Coast, that's the final score. Gold Coast 10, Great Britain 28, and once again the midweek team do their piece. the British Lions go into the third test in Great Heart.